There I am. Hello, aligned photographers. I'm your host, Casey Louise, a Seattle-based intimate motherhood photographer and photography educator and coach. And I don't edit these episodes, so here you go. Today is one of those days where it's actually a family day, but I really want to make sure that I get this podcast out to you weekly. It is super important to me. I've seen with my photography work and with the education, consistency is incredibly important. So I show up every week for you, unfiltered, maybe interrupted by my little ones. And here we go. But today, I want to start this second episode of the podcast talking about something that has been incredibly crucial, I guess, to not only my photography business, but my life in general. And that is gratitude. It sounds really, really simple. And I'm going to dive into all the ways that I actually find time to practice it and how I really think that it has impacted my life, my photography business, my day-to-day, and how I absolutely believe that it can help you as well. So today is one of those days with my family where I felt like I had so much work that I want to get done. And, the task list really is never ending when you are running your own business. And in the beginning, I thought, I'm going to have all of the stuff that I can get done and get through, and then it'll be easier, right? And in some regard, it's true that there's not as much that I initially need to get done, but there is a lot that constantly needs to be maintained, right? And nurtured. And so now, of course, expanding into education and starting this podcast, there's a lot more for me to do. I also have very, very limited childcare this week. I'm just prioritizing friends who were in from out of town and time together as a family. So I've moved. I'm sitting by a window now if you're watching the video. And so you might see that my lighting's going to change a lot. But hopefully this is better than where I was last episode in the corner. And let's just get right into it. So gratitude. Gratitude is something I'm trying to remember when I first started actively practicing gratitude. And I've been into law of attraction, things like that, kind of like woo-woo vision board, stuff like that for a long, long time, since basically high school. But practicing gratitude specifically is something that what I can really remember is The Magic by Rhonda Burns. It's something that I read every January because I'm in Francesca Amber's Law of Attraction Changed My Life book club. And every January we read that in the book club. And The Magic by Rhonda Burns is, I believe, 28 days of gratitude practices. It's either 21 or 28. I feel like it's 28. And every single day is a practice that builds upon the next one. But what I really love about that book is that as a busy mom and business owner, and I have so much going on, like realistically, when I'm not going to be able to do 28 different gratitude practices every single day, right? Some of them just truly are not feasible for me in this season of my life, in the season of motherhood. So what I love is it gave me 28 different options and ways that I can implement gratitude practices into my life. And I had someone, a fellow photographer and friend, say, who we're quite close now, but she said to me once when we were first getting to know each other a little bit better, she said that she honestly thought that I was maybe fake. And I felt like when she actually shared this to her Instagram story, and I was like, oh my gosh, don't say that. But she was like, I really thought that at first because I am generally pretty happy and generally pretty positive and optimistic and all those things. And now she hears me complain a lot more, to be honest. But she said what she had discovered was that it wasn't fake. It was gratitude. It was that I'm really grateful for so many things in my life. And that is absolutely true because I've seen firsthand how being aware of those things and expressing my thankfulness towards them has only brought more of that into my life, right? So I'm going to share when I start my day. I every day try to start my day as soon as I wake up, if I'm able to, if the kids let me. I immediately start thinking about as many things I can think of that I'm grateful for. So a lot of times, especially if it's every day, some things can be really repetitive. I'm so thankful for my comfortable bed. I'm so thankful that there's a cup of fresh coffee waiting for me today. As far as business goes, over the weekend, I'm like, wow, I'm so grateful that I had 5 sessions this weekend. Even if it's one on your calendar a month out, I'm so grateful that somebody trusted me enough to invest in me, to have me see them and reflect them in this light in this season of their motherhood, whatever type of photographer you are. If you're here, you're most likely a motherhood photographer or in that general genre. Um, but thinking of all those little things, I'm thankful for my children. I'm thankful that I'm still breastfeeding, or whatever your feeding journey looks like. Sleep. Did the kids sleep well? It can be really, really simple things. Sometimes, like I am experiencing tennis elbow for the first time in my life, and it's on my right elbow, and I'm right-handed. Of course, my camera, I have a Canon R6 and I also have a Canon R6 Mark II. They're pretty heavy, and during photo shoots, you really can't feel anything. I have tripped, I have fallen over rocks, I have bumped into things, I have twisted my ankle, whatever. You have so many endorphins going when you are at a photo shoot and you're so focused on what you're capturing. Anyways, I don't feel it then, but boy, does it hurt afterwards. So I'm really trying to take care of that at the moment. But sometimes it's as simple as I'm just so thankful that I don't have pain in my arm. I'm so thankful that that healed. Right now it hurts very much so, but you get what I'm trying to say. As far as your gratitude can be very, very simple. I am so thankful that we have access to fresh water, which I am absolutely going to take a sip of. I am so grateful that I have food in my kitchen to feed my children. I'm thankful I have childcare today, or I'm thankful that I get to have a business that I'm building alongside being home with my children. And I try to start my day thinking about this, and I will be so real with you. I was just sharing this with another friend recently that hopefully you can't hear this loud plane going by. When I wake up sometimes, my children are young, okay? They are 5 years old and they are almost 2 years old. That means I don't have slow, easy mornings, at least not with my children, okay? My children are loud. My children have the energy that only one could ever really hope for for themselves, right? I wish I had the energy that my children, especially my daughter, wakes up with every day. But that means that sometimes my mornings when I wake up are quite startling. They are quite abrupt, very loud, and sometimes it's crying, sometimes it's yelling, screaming. Anyway, sometimes it's just not an environment where realistically I can open my eyes and just lay there thinking about all the things I'm grateful for. Okay. Usually I can do that on the days that my husband is home, and I am incredibly grateful for the days that my husband is home. Otherwise, sometimes it looks like I get one or two things that I can think of and I have to hop up and go. And then I try to incorporate, like maybe while I'm making breakfast, maybe it happens while I go for a walk, right? But I keep trying generally in the morning to start my day with thinking of things that I'm grateful for, whether it's for business, whether it's for a financial goal met, whether it's for my general health, my children, my family, my home, my animals, anything that you can think of. The sun shining. Every day the sun is shining, I'm grateful that the sun is shining and it's nice weather out, especially here in the Pacific Northwest where we don't always have that. Of course, year round it can be pretty rainy and dreary here. But gratitude has helped me because one, it just helps improve your mood, right? It helps when you're having a hard day. If you can redirect your focus and your attention to something that you're thankful for, it's going to help improve your mood, right? It's going to help improve your day. It is going to raise your energy. I guess you could say like raise your vibe, right? And that's going to impact the way you interact with the world and the people around you. And we're all just exchanging energy with each other, right? How we interact with each other is very important, and it impacts how I react to you is going to impact how you react back to me. I don't know if I said that correctly, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Anyways, we're all just exchanging energy. And so it's important, at least to me, to try to raise that. And I also do believe in the law of attraction, which is when I'm focused on something and I want to bring it into my current reality, focusing on what I have is only going to bring more of that good stuff into my life rather than focusing on what's wrong, what I don't like, what I'm unhappy with. So let's talk about photography specifically. Okay. If you are wanting to book clients, let's start there. If you're wanting to book clients and you feel like inquiries are slow, things are down, right? You can get really clear on your want, what you're wanting, okay? And then you can think about all the things surrounding that you're already grateful for. Are you grateful that you found this passion and that you have the ability to focus on growing it on this business? Are you grateful for community that you found? Are you grateful for a new podcast maybe you're listening to that's really encouraging and inspiring and helpful? Are you grateful for your friend who trusted you enough to take pictures of them and signed a model release so you could share those pictures online to get people to find your work and love your work and hire you? Has anyone hired you ever? If so, are you grateful for them, that they invested in you, that they trusted you? Focus on that experience, focus on what you loved. And then by focusing on those things, I truly believe that that's going to bring more of that into your life, typically through inspired action. You think, okay, I put out this model call. It attracted this person to me. I got to build my portfolio. That was amazing. It was a great session. Maybe they tipped me at the end because it was a model call. Anything like that, right? It's just going to keep you going. And as we know, the more we put our work out there, the more it's going to attract the right people who are looking for it. Okay. Nobody can find you if you're not putting anything out there. So do you see how I'm saying that maybe you're wanting more clients? And instead of focusing on the fact that you're not getting these inquiries, you are focusing on inquiries you've had in the past, sessions you've had in the past, even if there were model calls. The fact that you have this ability, the fact that you have this passion, right? It's just going to get you more excited about what you do have and what you have accomplished. And it's going to inspire you to keep putting in the work, right? Instead of feeling the dread and the disappointment of, oh, I'm doing all this work, nothing's coming to fruition, nobody's inquiring, no one is, you know what I mean? Instead of focusing on that, that's going to really burn you out. It's going to really bring you down. And it's sure not going to motivate, it sure wouldn't motivate me to keep going. And as we know, we have to keep going, has to be consistent. Incredible businesses are not built overnight. And I'll bring that back to what my own journey has been like, because I do believe that my photography business and journey happened very quickly. I feel like it accelerated faster than a lot of other people in the industry. And I believe that gratitude is the reason behind that. And that is because gratitude has inspired me to show up consistently. It has inspired me to stay focused on what is aligned in my business and what's aligned in the season of life. It's inspired me to show up authentically by sharing, what am I grateful for? What do I love? What am I enjoying? What is inspiring me? And then I share those things. So I show up authentically. And that only brings more people into my orbit. It only gives my clients a better experience. Gratitude has allowed me to make connections in the community, and then we refer to each other, right? We are grateful for each other. We are grateful for our community. I am grateful that I have friends that I have found through my photography business who send people to me, and I send people to them, because there is plenty enough to go around. And so it's just about finding those things. And so that's why I feel like with my journey, I started my business only a little over 4 years ago. So my business turned 4 years old at the end of March. And I hit 100K. I hit my first 6-figure year last year. So when I did my taxes and everything, it was like, okay, I finally made it. So we're halfway into this next year, and I'm already projected to like double that, which is absolutely insane and incredible. So even when I have really, really, not really low, but when I have lower months, right, it's very easy to start to panic. It's very easy to start to think about what I don't have and what I'm scared of, and let fear creep in of where are the clients, or you have some challenging sessions where you start to question everything. Maybe you have imposter syndrome. There's so many doubtful thoughts and fearful thoughts that we can let creep into our mind and in our lives. And those are all negative, and they all negatively impact us. And I wish I could remember where I've heard this quote, but it was from a very, very long time ago. I've known about it for forever, it feels like. But that there's a saying that says one negative thought or one negative saying is worth basically maybe 10 times the weight of something positive, right? And there's all these studies too that are crazy where like you talk to your plants and you just say mean things, bad words, cuss at them, tell them you don't like them, whatever, and the plant dies. And then there's this other one where you just speak love and gratitude and all these positive things into it, and it flourishes. So those are the studies that I'm watching and listening to that I find absolutely fascinating. And my life is important to me, right? You want to be able to have some sort of control in how you live your life and have a positive impact on it, right? And if there's anything that is in your control, it is the words you speak. It is the thoughts that you think. Even though we can have intrusive thoughts, we can have a hard time, we have hard days. Life happens to all of us, depending on what season of life we're in, right? With the kids, where I was talking about this morning, how it can be very challenging to start my day full of gratitude when I wake up to screaming kids and literally shit everywhere. And yes, I'll swear from time to time on here. I actually cuss quite a bit in my personal life. I don't do it as much professionally, of course. And there's poop everywhere and there's meltdowns happening. It can be harder on those days and during those moments, right, to express gratitude. But what I try to do is when those thoughts, those fearful thoughts, all the negative ones that creep in, my work's not good enough, why isn't anyone finding me, what am I doing wrong, any sort of thoughts that are full of doubt, you can actively stop yourself and recognize, right? Recognize that you are having those types of thoughts, you're speaking those types of things. And even if it feels really, really silly at first, I want you to try to stop yourself. If you can, highly recommend The Magic by Rhonda Burns. Recommend that book. Can listen to it on an audiobook, stream it, or you can order the physical copy. Out of 28 options, there's got to be one that you can incorporate into your life that is only going to help make your life and your business better, stronger, more profitable. And then I want you to practice whatever you can implement whenever you can implement. One reason why I do love that we read that book every January to start our year, it doesn't even matter if it's in January. I just really love the fact that we get to read it once a year, because it's also very easy to fall out of practice, right? We can get into this positive season and we're all excited and ready to like buckle down and work and grow and work on our mindset and our business, and all the things are going to flourish. And then what happens when you burn out or it wears off or things start going really good? So you're just happy and excited and you're just working on it, but the practices start to fall away. And then there starts to be a lull. Then those thoughts and those feelings start to creep in again. That's when you can recognize. And that's when I've tried to stop and recognize. So every time I have a goal, for example, right now, next month, I have an in-person workshop and style shoot happening in Seattle called Golden Mama. And I have spots that I want to fill for that, right? I also have ice cream mini sessions coming up, which is an opportunity for my photography clients. And I'll be completely honest, it's not like I just released them and they completely filled up, right? But they do have spots that have filled. And this is not the first time I've done either of these events. I had ice cream mini sessions last year. I did Golden Mama 2 times last year, one as kind of like a test run, the second was more official. And so, because I have this background to pull from, even if I hadn't done it before, I have the idea, right? I'm so grateful that I get to partner with a local other small business who trusts me. And I'm so grateful that I have this really fun idea that would be amazing for families to celebrate their summer and feel connected with their kids and not worry about if their kids are cooperating or smiling for a photo, right? I can think about all the reasons why I'm excited for that opportunity, why I think that it's a great um, offering, right, for people to take advantage of. And so I can focus on those things. I can also visualize and imagine people. I can express gratitude for something that hasn't happened yet, right? I am so grateful for everyone who signs up to have an ice cream mini session with me. I am so grateful that I get to see these children grow up year after year and see their relationships with their siblings grow and flourish and change, and that they get to have fun and make amazing memories as a family. For my Golden Mama in-person workshop, right? I'm so grateful to the photographers who trust me to guide them, to help them, to educate them, to help grow, invest in me and my workshops to help grow their portfolios with aligned images that are going to attract the right ideal client that they want to attract, right? If you like the same type of work that I do, we all know that we need to put out there what we want to attract back in return. So these are two examples of things that I'm wanting, right? I'm wanting sold out Golden Mama. I'm wanting sold out ice cream mini sessions. So I can sit down and take some moments every time somebody signs up for either one of those things. I am so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you to somebody who trusted me to invest in an experience with me, whether it's as a photography client or as a fellow photographer in the trusting me as an educator. So grateful for every single person who invests in me and my business and my life anyway. It allows me, and then I can think about what that does for me, right? It's not just, yes, somebody signed up for these things. It's that I get to help feed my children. I get to help contribute towards gas, groceries, healthy food. We love to travel. I can take my kids to do fun activities, invest in, my daughter wants to sign up for basketball, right? Like everything that we have in our life is just contributing to that. And what's even better yet is I am putting in work into something that I truly love and am incredibly passionate about. This is somewhat related on the same track. I mentioned it on my Instagram stories. And I feel like I'm going to do a whole episode on social media. So if social media has felt intimidating to you, you don't know how to show up, you feel nervous, you feel silly, you feel like you don't know what to say in your captions, that's going to be an episode. So stay tuned. But on my stories, I shared over the weekend, I had a session with a returning family, and I got to capture their maternity session, their newborn session. Then we've had multiple family sessions since then. And at the end, we're walking back, we're talking about them potentially adding and growing their family. And the mom said to me, I don't know if you remember, but at her newborn session, you taught me how to trim her nails, right? I taught her how to help trim her baby's nails, which I did not remember at all. We remembered her baby pooping and having an explosive blowout everywhere because that was super funny and I took pictures of it. But I didn't remember that small detail that was so incredibly impactful for her, for this mom. And wow, like moments like that, things like that just really bring me back to like, that is the experience that I'm providing. That is why I am passionate about the type of photography that I offer, because we are not just taking pictures. I don't care what type of photographer you are. And if you are just taking pictures, I highly suggest that you reconsider the experience that you're providing, because you are there to help help people feel comfortable, help people sit in their vulnerability with you, to reflect their beauty, their strength, their love, whatever type of session that you are doing, it's incredibly meaningful to that person. And the experience you provide is incredibly meaningful to them. And that is why this is much, much deeper work for me that I feel incredibly passionate about. I was not passionate about being a dental hygienist at all. Even though it's healthcare, it's incredibly important. It wasn't for me. To me, being a photographer, especially an early motherhood intimate photographer, is about supporting moms. Even now, as a photography educator and coach, right? I primarily help photographers who are also mothers, who don't want to sacrifice their values or their motherhood, who want to have aligned, valuable businesses that they're incredibly passionate about that also bring profitability, right? That also bring in a good financial income, whatever that may look like for them and what they need. So it goes so much deeper than that for me. And so when moments like that happen, I think about it as much as possible. I share about it as much as possible. It is what I turn my focus and my attention to because it is going to help me give more experiences just like that. It is going to help me attract clients who value that type of support and aren't just looking for a few pictures to put on their wall, right? And it's going to help. So it's going to help me attract ideal clients. It's going to help me have sessions and that are better for both of us, right? More fulfilling for both me and for my client. And I believe by focusing on that, talking about that, right, it is only going to bring in more business and more work for me that I absolutely love and I'm passionate about. So I like to keep these episodes relatively short. I listen to podcasts when I'm driving to and from places. I live a little bit out of the city, so I basically have to drive a solid 30 minutes whenever I go anywhere. And so if that is you, if you are a busy mom and photographer, I'd like to keep these episodes around 30 minutes or less. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're able to implement gratitude practices into your life on a daily business, whatever that might look like. Like I said, for me, it's thinking about what I'm grateful for as I wake up in the morning. I also really love doing it as I try to fall asleep at night. And if you have young children, you can absolutely include them in your gratitude practices. Don't think that you have to wait and do it when you're by yourself. When I lay my daughter down for bed at night, I love asking her, what was your favorite part about today? Can we think of all the people we're grateful for? Can we think of 3 things we're really thankful for today? Do your gratitude practices together. One of the main gratitude practices that I believe we might even start with in the book, The Magic, is a list of 10 things. Every day you sit down with a journal and you physically write out 10 things you're grateful for. I believe we do this all 28 days, and there's a little bit of a challenge to write something different each day. So that is tough because I can't do math, but 10 times 28, right? That's all the different things you're going to come up with, whether they're big, whether they're small, whether they're specific, they're a certain person, it doesn't matter. Anyways, that's something that I loved to implement with my daughter. And so sometimes even now, randomly I'll be writing down things and she'll say, "Oh, are you writing what you're grateful for?" And she couldn't quite write yet, but she would have me write her list for her. So I would do my gratitude list of 10 things I'm thankful for. And then I would ask her and I would write her gratitude list too, which is something really special and absolutely treasured to hold on to that she can look back on later in life. Or honestly, I'm just going to look on for the rest of my life and be thankful that that practice is also extending onto my children's lives. So I hope you're able to implement that, and I'll see you next week. Bye, aligned photographers.